From Matthew Henry's commentary on Isaiah chapter 5, verses 18 through 20. Woe to those who draw iniquity with cords of vanity, and sin as if with a cart rope, that say, Let him make speed and hasten his work, that we may see it. And let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel draw near and come, that we may know it. Woe to those who call evil good, and good evil, who put darkness for light, and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter. Here are 1. Sins described which will bring judgments upon a people. And this perhaps is not only a charge drawn up against the men of Judah, who lived at that time, and the particular articles of that charge, though it may relate primarily to them, but is rather intended for warning to all people, in all ages, to take heed of these sins, as destructive both to particular persons and to communities, and exposing men to God's wrath and his righteous judgments. Those are here said to be in a woeful condition. 1. Who are eagerly set upon sin, and violent in their sinful pursuits, verse 18. Who draw iniquity with cords of vanity, who take as much pains to sin as the cattle do that draw a team, who put themselves to the stretch for the gratifying of their inordinate appetites, and to humor a base lust, or for violence to nature itself. They think themselves as sure of compassing their wicked project as if they were pulling it towards them with strong cart ropes. But they will find themselves disappointed, for they will prove cords of vanity, which will break when they come to any stress. For the righteous Lord will cut in sunder the cords of the wicked. Psalm 129:4, Job 4:8, Proverbs 22:8. They are by long custom and confirmed habits so hardened in sin that they cannot get clear of it. Those that sin through infirmity are drawn away by sin. Those that sin presumptuously draw iniquity to them, in spite of the oppositions of providence and the checks of conscience. Some by sin understand the punishment of sin. They pull God's judgments upon their own heads, as it were, with cart ropes. 2. Who set the justice of God at defiance, and challenge the Almighty to do his worst, verse 19. They say, Let him make speed and hasten his work. This is the same language with that of the scoffers of the last days, who say, Where is the promise of his coming? And therefore it is that, like them, they draw iniquity with cords of vanity, are violent in daring in sin, and walk after their own lusts. 1. They ridicule the prophets and banter them. It is in scorn that they call God the Holy One of Israel, because the prophets used with great veneration to call him so. 2. They will not believe the revelation of God's wrath from heaven against their ungodliness and unrighteousness. Unless they see it executed, they will not know it, as if the curse were a mere flash, and all the threatenings of the word bugbears to frighten fools and children. 3. If God should appear against them, as he was threatened, yet they think themselves able to make their part good with him, and provoke him to jealousy, as if they were stronger than he. 1 Colossians 10:22. We have heard his word, but it is all talk. Let him hasten his work. We shall shift for ourselves well enough. Note, those that willfully persist in sin consider not the power of God's anger. 3. Who confound and overthrow the distinctions between moral good and evil, who call evil good and moral evil, verse 20, who not only live in the omission of that which is good, but condemn it, argue against it, and because they will not practice it themselves, run it down in others, and fasten invidious epithets upon it, not only do that which is evil, but justify it, and applaud it, and recommend it to others as safe and good. Note 1. Virtue and piety are good, for they are light and sweet. They are pleasant and right, but sin and wickedness are evil. They are darkness, all the fruit of ignorance and mistake, and will be bitterness in the latter end. 2. Those do a great deal of wrong to God, and religion, and conscience, to their own souls, and to the souls of others, who misrepresent these, and put false colors upon them, who call drunkenness good fellowship, and covetousness good husbandry, and when they persecute the people of God, think they do him good service, and, on the other hand, who call seriousness ill nature, and sober singularity ill breeding, who say all manner of evil falsely concerning the ways of godliness, and do what they can to form in men's minds prejudices against them, and this in defiance of evidence as plain and convincing as that of sense, by which we distinguish, beyond contradiction, between light and darkness, and between that to which the taste is sweet and that which is bitter.